When petrochemical plants come into the area, they want to bring jobs and increase the local tax base. And the state of Louisiana has given all the plants a big tax break to come in. But a lot of the local people weren't getting the jobs.
I've been covering these communities for almost 15 years, and oftentimes it's always, where are the jobs we're supposed to get? When you go to public hearings where the permits for these facilities are being litigated, you often hear,
I'm very, very proud of this project, and I'm very proud of the 170 jobs that it's going to produce, and I'm very, very proud of the 2,000 construction jobs that it's going to produce. That is the reason why we enjoy what we enjoy in this parish, is because of our industrial corridor.
I had this woman who lived in St. John the Baptist Parish tell me she had 2 sons. Both of them grew up seeing these chemical plants in their backyard, and they always knew that, well, maybe I want to work there.
My sons, they have the credentials, they have the education. All they wanted was a chance to get into the plants, to do the job that they were trained to do.
They went to school, got degrees, and could not get hired at any of the plants. That's when you really start to say, well, what is it then? Right. Petrochemical facilities will promise jobs, but they never hire people from the local community. But this is a story that's really, really hard for us journalists to get at, because we really have no data to support it. And they are a private company. They don't have to turn in their employment records over to us. So how do we get at this story?
Thank you so much for being here. I'm Heather McTiertoni. I'm the Executive Director of the Beyond Petrochemical campaign.
I was at a media event and I get a tap on the shoulder. And I turn around, and at the time I didn't know who she was, but it was Kim Terrell with Tulane Environmental Law Clinic. And she says to me, I think that there is some publicly available data that I can get my hands on that could probably help you in your reporting.
This data set was a gold mine because it allows us to look state by state and see how Louisiana stacks up against other states with respect to how the jobs are distributed. So we can look at what proportion of people of color live in this parish, and then what proportion of people of color have oil jobs or chemical jobs or manufacturing jobs overall. When we look at Louisiana, the jobs in these parishes are either going to white people outside the parish or to the white population within that parish. And when we think about the fact that these plants are located right next to Black communities, the jobs aren't going to the local communities. So St. John the Baptist Parish is the most extreme example that we saw. 69% of the working age population is people of color. And if we look at the good manufacturing jobs, only 19% of those employees are people of color, right? So 19% versus 69%, that's a huge difference, right? That's a significant group of people who aren't getting the jobs from the plants that are polluting their communities.
Yeah. So let's talk about the education component, because I thought that's the most interesting highlight here. When I ask the question, they'll say, well, a lot of these jobs, there are certain education qualifications and the people can't meet those.
It's not because of lack of education. In reality, people have a range of salaries at a plant. Some very high, some very low, but even the low-paying jobs, minimum wage jobs, are disproportionately going to white employees.
So basically what Kim's data found was that Black people were just as educated. They had the same background in terms of training and technical assets they needed to get these jobs, and they still weren't being hired. But, if it's not education, then what is it?
This study absolutely points at racist or biased practices in hiring, right? Because what else could explain people of color being underrepresented in low-paying jobs?
All the pollution is going to the marginalized Black communities, and all the wealth is going to the whiter communities.
When I heard about the report from Tulane with Kim Terrell, that was very hard for me to take. The plants, will tell you We're going to give you jobs. We're going to give you high-paying jobs. And people believe that because that's what they want to believe, and that's what they need. But they'll tell them anything just to get in. And once they get in, then it's too late. And all we're left with is the pollution and the cancer.
This is the one story that I feel that has just gotten the most response. Local leaders, community activists, regular people. It was one of those times that I really felt like, oh wow, like something that I have written, have worked on, can really have an impact on people. And that it is being used as a tool to show people how the petrochemical industry will lie to them.